There's a conflict going on in Israel and Palestine.
Oh no.
If you had to pick one, who would you pick?
Sorry.
I stand with victims of war crimes. I think it's absolutely despicable that people are putting their personal opinions over violence of children. I don't love when people are saying that there's like one side, two sides. Obviously, Israeli government is an imperialist regime, and like Palestinian people are being murdered unjustly.
There's a conflict in the Middle East. Which side are you on?
I'm not answering. Are you gonna answer that?
Israel.
Yeah, Israel.
Speak your truth. Israel or Palestine?
What about them?
Which one do you side with right now in this conflict?
Side? Why would I be siding with anybody killing each other?
Speak your truth right now. There's people watching that want to hear what you have to say. Let them know.
Well, you know, the sad part are the voices that don't get heard that are actually in the war zones, while we are worried about whatever the hell we're worried about here. And it's nothing that's relevant to actually helping those people. Now, those people hate each other, man. A lot of them do, because they've been taught to be that way.
Very true.
There's nothing that we believe, there's nothing that we can think that hasn't been imposed on us by someone else. Because of this fact, you gotta back off. You can't pick a side. Just pick love.
The question today is simple. There's a conflict in the Middle East. Who would you side with if you had to pick a side, and why?
Oh, I think I'd side with humanitarianism, and I think that ethnic cleansing and genocide is wrong. And no matter what you may believe about who has a right to a land, that death and the toll that we've seen taken on children and women and men in Palestine is not okay.
And more importantly, it's our responsibility as citizens to pressure our government into actually having a change and doing something like, let's say, having a ceasefire, which, by the way, the U.S. said they were going to veto in front of the UN, so call your representatives and demand that they don't do that.
Do you think that's the first step to resolving it is a ceasefire?
I think the first step to resolving it is a ceasefire, and then there needs to be more accountability taken for our governments and our world institutions, especially because Israel has violated many crimes, and the UN knows this, and there's still not been anything done about it.
Palestine, because Israel has been colonizing their land for a long time.
Oh, come on. Just no innocent deaths, all right? That's the side that I'm on. Yeah.
That's a fair game question. That's a fair answer.
Yeah, I don't know. Hamas is bad, but the Israeli government also hasn't done some great things.
Where do you get most of your news from? Because a lot of people don't watch the news anymore.
I guess like social media.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have time to watch the news or like.
Which one? Do you support Hamas?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hamas all day. Palestine, that shit.
No, so whose side do you pick? Palestine or Israel?
The H word. I like them. Good name.
The Hamas?
Yeah. Hamas, Hamor.
Do you know what side they're on?
Not really, but they have the better name. I think marketing is big in this war.
Well, some people would call them terrorists, and then some people would call them like freedom fighters.
Oh yeah, it's like gangs in New York. Yeah, you don't know who's who, basically.
There's a conflict going on in the Middle East.
Sure.
Who would you side with if you had to pick a side?
No, Palestine. Yeah. Just that's what it seems like. Well, at least like for my my feed, like on Twitter and TikTok, it seems like that's sort of the narrative that I'm getting, and I try to look for both narratives. I truly do, but from so far, it seems like Palestine's kind of like tipping the scale a little bit more towards my personal opinion.
But that's TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say that's like what I'm like seeing.
But that doesn't mean that you need to be like anti-Semitic towards Jewish people, be hateful towards Muslim people. As a human people, we need to be kind, we need to be respectful, and we need to work towards a solution that stops killing innocent people.
Where do you think the solution could start?
Definitely by having world leaders in the West call for a ceasefire. We're funding these weapons, and it's not okay that innocent lives are being lost with our tax money.
It's okay. Tell us why, because there's a lot of people that might watch it and they'd be like, oh, Israel's doing this, Israel's doing this. What makes you stay behind that claim?
I don't know.
Are you guys Jewish? Are y'all Jewish?
Yes, we are Jewish.
Oh, okay,
Same with Israel.
Okay. If you had to pick a side, who would you pick and why?
I always go for the underdog.
And who would that be right now?
Gaza.
I cannot pick a side, but I do think that there's innocence on both sides there. So
what would be the solution if there is one, if you could come up with one on the spot?
just solve a 3,000-year-old conflict real quick.
Yeah, I know you got it in you. Give
probably
everybody
just
a lot
like
of mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly. Just give everybody a bunch of hallucinogenics and make them sit together in a room for a long time.
They'll sort it out.
Yeah.
Is that your same answer?
And just free Xboxes for everybody.
Everyone?
If I'm being bluntly honest with you, I'm not educated enough to actually have a good take on it. In my opinion, I think we should let them sort themselves out. I think we should solve our own problems first. We got a lot of problems here at home. Why not solve those first before we're trying to fix other people's problems?
There's a conflict going on in the Middle East. Who do you side with if you had to pick a side?
I'm not educated enough to pick a side.
That's probably the best answer you could ever give. Because these people watching this, they're just going to tear you apart if you gave any answer. But what color are your eyes?
I want to say greenish blue.
They look very different. I've never seen something so pretty. They're almost like bowling balls, like an exotic bowling ball.